Mark had always been a man of great ambition. He had climbed the corporate ladder quickly, securing a high-paying job at a prestigious tech company. He was known for his work ethic, his ability to make smart decisions under pressure, and his unwavering confidence. His personal life mirrored his career. He had a beautiful wife, Sarah, and wonderful children, Alex and Lily. Life seemed perfect, and Mark felt invincible. But one evening, everything changed. It was an ordinary Tuesday when Mark received a phone call that would alter his life forever. Sarah had been involved in a car accident while driving home from work. The impact of the crash was severe, and Sarah was rushed to the hospital. Mark's heart sank as he listened to the doctor's voice on the other end of the phone, telling him that Sarah had sustained critical injuries and was in a coma. The days that followed were brutal. Mark stayed by Sarah's side in the hospital, praying for a miracle, but after a week of uncertainty, Sarah passed away. The love of his life, the woman who had been his partner, his best friend, the mother of his children, was gone. Mark was shattered. He didn't know how to cope with such an enormous loss. The world that had once been full of promise now seemed empty and meaningless. In the weeks after Sarah's death, Mark struggled to function. He went through the motions of life, taking care of Alex and Lily, going to work, but he felt like he was on autopilot. The joy he had once felt in his career had evaporated. His passion for his work, which had once driven him, no longer existed. He was simply going through the motions, trying to survive each day. Mark felt isolated. The weight of his grief felt unbearable. He couldn't talk to anyone about it. No one seemed to understand the depth of his pain. Friends and colleagues expressed their sympathy, but their words didn't help. They couldn't possibly know what he was going through. One day, after months of living in a fog of sadness, Mark received a letter from a childhood friend, Ethan, who had always been there for him during tough times. Ethan knew what Mark was going through, and he invited him to come spend a weekend at his cabin in the mountains. At first, Mark was hesitant. He didn't feel like going anywhere, didn't feel like talking to anyone, but something inside him told him that maybe this was the change he needed. So, he packed a bag and made a trip. Ethan's cabin was tucked away in a quiet corner of the mountains, far from the distractions of everyday life. The serene landscape, the fresh mountain air, and the peace of the place worked wonders on Mark's life. For the first time in a long time, he felt something other than the heavy weight of grief. That weekend, Ethan encouraged Mark to talk about Sarah, something Mark had avoided doing for months. It wasn't easy, but little by little, he started to open up. He talked about Sarah's laughter, the way she cared for their children, and how much she had meant to him. He cried. For the first time since her death, he allowed himself to feel the full weight of his grief. By the end of the weekend, Mark didn't have all the answers, and something had shifted inside him. He realized that while he could never fully recover from losing Sarah, he could start to heal. He could choose to live in a way that honored her memory. He couldn't go back to the way he was before. He didn't have to stay trapped in the bed he had to come out of her death. Mark returned home. He took small steps toward rebuilding his life. He started by being present for his children, Alex and Lily. He took them to their soccer games, helped with homework, and spent more time